Hello, my name is Greg Bjornstead, and welcome to another installment of my video tutorial series for eVit, my new Vineyard database software program. Today I'm going to show you how to use the features and functions on the grower details layout. As usual, we'll begin from the main menu. We'll start here with the grower tab, and as usual, this drop-down menu appears for searching, viewing the grower list, grower details, and adding a new grower. And as mentioned previously, this drop-down menu is identical for each one of the other hierarchical categories. That is vineyards and blocks and subblocks. So today we will just jump right into the details layout screen. So as a way to know where you are in your navigation, grower details right up here always appears in the upper left corner, as does this green font for growers when you have your cursor elsewhere. If you highlight with your cursor, you can see that we changed the color in the tab and whatnot. But green font in growers tells you where you are. We also have a slider if you have if you'd like to browse through your growers or any of the other categories of hierarchy or data subjects as well. So just by clicking on that arrow, we can go through the growers. And in this case, in my demo file, I only have 2 growers so far. So moving over here to the right, we have the options button, and let's drill down into there and see what we have. Again, we can see the grower list from where we started. I'll go ahead and click on that, and that's what the grower list looks like. So to go back into the grower detail screen, I just click options again and click on that grower detail. So many of these activities are available within the detail screen itself, but one. So here we can add a new grower, delete this grower, search all the growers, export this grower, and I'll show you how to do that now. If we ever want to move this information out to another format, Excel or Word or whatever, we can do that. We can name the title of the document that we want to save. We can send it to wherever we'd like it to be. We can choose the format. I usually use Excel. And then we can click it to here to have it open immediately upon export. So I'll cancel out at this point here, but that works just perfectly for each one of these categories. And this is one that I'd like to tell you about now, is the modify active status. So the active versus inactive status is a way for us to keep our information current within the eVit database. So the hierarchy here, you can see at the top we have the Jones family vineyards. We then have the 2 vineyards that are associated with the Jones family vineyard grower, and then the blocks that are associated with the vineyards. And then we also have subblocks that are associated with the blocks. All right, and so you can see that the green active word here indicates that they are all active and visible and current within this file of eVit. You can also see that we have 2 buttons here, activate all or deactivate all, and by clicking on either one of these we can change the status of all of the features of all of the hierarchies here with one button. So let's say that the Jones family vineyards decided to redevelop their vineyards. They sold the vineyard to somebody else. They've gone out of business or whatever. Or from the winery perspective, you're not purchasing fruit from the Jones family vineyards any longer. So you can just, with one button, you can click on deactivate all, and they will be inactive. All of the data will remain within your file so that you don't lose any of your historical information, which I think is valuable. Because in the future, seems like things always change, and maybe you'll be working with the Jones family vineyards again, perhaps in another permutation. Maybe you could just rename the hierarchies if they were purchased by somebody else, or any number of things, but it allows you the choice to work with your data in the way that you best use it. So while trying to keep things efficient and easy for you. So once you've changed the activity status of any of the growers, vineyards, blocks, or subblocks, we can just click on this down here, and that details layout goes away. Okay. So now to the tabs down below, we see the first one here is the address, the main address, contact address of the grower. We also have the primary contact who we'd be looking up with their contact information down here. By clicking on this icon here, this will launch a blank email from your email client and just be ready to go. If you have if the grower has a URL, we can click on that and be taken to that site. There's also the work phone number here. Because I'm showing you this from the desktop, which is also the same as an iPad, we won't be able to make a phone call from here, so that functionality isn't useful here, but it is on the iPhone. We are able to make calls from the contact screens on the iPhone. We are able to draft emails from here, however, so that's why we've got that working. Okay, so then speaking of contacts, we can drill down and look at the contacts that we have associated here, and we can have any number of contacts for various reasons. If we've got an owner, a vineyard manager, an analyst, we've got XYZ here for an example, for which I will show you some things that we can do. So it's useful, I think, to have a primary contact here for you to select. That way that same person shows up right here and you don't need to necessarily drill down. It's all available to you at on the first tab that you encounter. If you want to drill down and see others, you are able to do that here. So we can add another contact simply by clicking this screen here. This will bring up the contact details screen right there. And this is how we would add a new contact, typing in the first name, last name, the title, etc. Because we are on this the grower screen, this comes up as a default because this is at the level at which we were adding this grower. We can select the type of telephone that we want to input for this person, and then we can also choose the one that we want displayed. If they're always on their cell phone, or if they're always at work, then we can make that selection. The same goes down here for the address, and we can choose which ones we are importing or inputting, and we can also choose which ones we want displayed. So once we fill out this screen, we are able to, let me move this so you can see the bottom. There we go. And we can close that screen. Reassign is, it might be something similar to the active status of the hierarchy that I mentioned earlier. Let's say this person goes to work for another grower. All we have to do is just simply click this button here, and it will walk us through the reassignment process. So we're in the Smith, I'm sorry, we're in the Jones family vineyards. So I can just simply click on Smith and select if it's the grower or the vineyard or the grower level. So that works to help keep your information current without having to delete and re-add and stuff like that. So when we're done with the screen, we can close that. And we also have these little icons over here that allow you to delete the contacts from this list view. The previous one that we were looking at was the contact details. So by going in there and the work that I did, it looks like I generated a blank record. So I can just go ahead and delete that here. And I can also, looks like Brian Sam is an example of somebody that I can delete. So I'm going to go ahead and delete him too. Okay, so that's just as easy as it is with contacts. So now contracts I'm going to talk a little bit about them from a general point of view without drilling down into the contract detail screen. So what we have here are two contracts that are associated with the Jones family vineyard. This one up here, if we follow the commas, we can see that the grower is the Jones family vineyard, and then we have Jones Home Ranch, which you might remember was a vineyard. Then we see block 1 and rows 1. It looks like the field is a little short. It's supposed to say rows 1 through 10 right here. And so this is also associated with an S, which indicates subblock. Look, we got that little hover tip there just in case, to remind you. So this allows you to do business in the way that you want to do business. If you can take your contract down to the subblock level, purchasing X number of tons from this particular subblock, or X number of rows, you can do that. Down here, we have the V, which is going to stand for vineyard. So this contract is attached at the vineyard level, and in this case, we see the Jones family vineyard as the grower, and then we see the Jones Apple Valley as the vineyard. So the Jones family vineyards has a contract at the vineyard level for all of their Apple Valley fruit. And so I think that's a useful function for the way we do business, which is there's nothing set in stone the way we do it. So at a glance, you can see your pricing, and you can see your payment dates and the terms. And files over here allows you to tell if there is a file attached to this contract. That there is no number in front of the word files indicates that there is no file attached. Files can be scanned in, original documents. They can also be scanned in to hold your signature. So to if there's ever a question, even in the field, you can open up that PDF and see the signed contract, verify your rows, verify your terms, whatever you need to do. So the file is there attached within. These files are also able to hold word processing documents or Excel spreadsheets. So again, it's a way to keep all your data under one roof in your pocket. So this is intended to be a one-stop shop for you to store and peruse through your data. Okay, so I jumped over the Vineyard tab for a reason, and we'll drill into that now. And you can see that we have two vineyards associated with the Jones family vineyards grower. One is Jones Apple Valley, and the other is the Jones Home Ranch. And so from this list view, we can see the primary contacts that are associated with this vineyard, and we can also see their contact numbers. So the reason that I held off on this is because this is a way to launch into drilling down into a deeper level of the hierarchy system. So by clicking on one of these two vineyards, this will take us from the grower details screen into the vineyard details screen. And so I will introduce that component here, and just by clicking on that, that takes us to the vineyard details screen. And so we are on record 2 of 2. As you can see up here, we have, as you recall, we had the Apple Valley vineyard. And so there are 2 vineyards associated with the Jones family vineyards. And so I think I'm just going to stop it here so we don't double up on the features that I discuss in the next tutorial, which will be the vineyard details screen. So thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.